Hello again, and thank you for joining Jeff and Jenny's Classic Restorations. Well, as you can see, we're back to the Jaguar XF today. This is probably a couple of weeks later that you see this video. I'm just suffering from the end of a cold. Last weekend was awful, but I've just got a little bit of enthusiasm back. Story behind it is the Jaguar is due for its MOT. My father-in-law took it for the MOT about a week ago, and it's got a go system on it, so there's a few things you have to do to get it to go, which he forgot to tell the MOT tester, and eventually it came up with gearbox fault, but it was only to do with this system. So he did say the MOT tester, but one of the tyres he could see straight away was bad, so he said don't bother putting it through, just get that sorted out and then come back. So my father-in-law's now put 4 brand new tyres on, and after that was done, then what happens? The brake pad warning light came on. Well, I originally put new pads on when I first got the car, so we're probably 3 years ago. My father-in-law's had it about 15 months, so they probably are due for a change. So I thought I might as well just bring you along. We'll just do some just the brake pad changes. No disc, thank God, at the moment. So we'll see how we get on. I'll just do this one wheel. This has got the sensor in it for the low wear indicator. So let's get the car jacked up, wheel off, and see how easy this will be, which of course it can't go wrong, can it? So let's have a look, see how we get on. Well, this is where the filler bottle is for the oil. Just looking at it down there, it's okay. It's not certainly nowhere near the maximum. In fact, it's near the minimum. So I'm hoping if it is the brake pads, once we've changed those, that will obviously come up a bit. So it might be well worn. So the car is jacked up. I'll get the wheel off and we'll see how we get on. Well, if we look at the furthest one away from the car, that has actually got quite a good tread on it. But looking at the other side, I don't think you won't be able to see it. But it is very low. You can see it's right down to the sensor. So it's the other side that's really the bad one. But okay, so we'll try and get this caliper off and see what the state is. Right, I'll just turn the wheel a little bit inward to get to these bolts a little bit easier. And you can see here, this is the just there is the sensor wear indicator wire. Just to make a note of how that goes, and that just goes all the way up there and plugs in at the top there. So we do have a new one of those. So what I'm going to do now, we've got these bolts to hold the caliper on here. I've got some large Allen key bolts to get those out. So let's get on with that one. Well, on closer inspection, they end up being Torx bolts. So it's a T55 for these. It's got normally you just get one each end, but there's 2 here, 4 here rather altogether. So I'm not sure if it means normally it goes onto the bolts onto the carrier for the brake caliper carrier, but it looks, I can't see any reason why. I think I may have to take all of them out, but let me start. I'll start taking these out, and I'll come back to you and we'll see what was needed. Right, as you can see, I've taken my coat off now because that wasn't easy. Well, it wasn't the end of the world, but these bolts, I say they were Torx bolts, T55s. I'm not sure if I needed to take all these off. I think I probably do. But the 2 outer ones, they were the shorter ones, and the 2 longer ones for the middle. So looking at this now, this is coming loose, but we've got a clip round here, so I'll move you around and show you that one. As I say, we've got this this clip here, so I'm going to try and slide this out. I hope this doesn't just fly off in my face or something, but we'll give it a go. And as I say, I'm not a mechanic. As you know, I just do my own things. I can't remember how this was done many years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, so bear with me. If I'm doing it wrong, I do apologise, but you can learn by my mistakes. So let's try and get this clip off. There we go. There we are. and see what we got now. There we go. So those 4 bolts did need to come out. So here's one of the pads. So it's not the end of the world. And here's the other one. This is the one with the thing on, the sensor, but that still doesn't look end of the world either. Well, actually, I think that's got the sliders through. Okay, so that must come off. Okay, maybe just have a quick look and I'll be back to you. Well, there we go. That did slide off, but there's the sliders on there. They're actually fixed ones, so I'll clean those up. I'll put some silicone grease on before we finish. So now there's the old pad down there. They're actually not bad at all. So the wire for the sensor goes all the way up. I don't know if you can see it, just down there. So we need to unplug that, and that will release the wear sensor. Well, here's the new wear sensor. Looks like that, and the one with the bulge on it is the bit that goes closer to the pad. So I'll put that, well, put it in there just for now. There we go. And now obviously I'm going to have to bring the brake caliper in a little bit because of the wear, but it's not too bad when you consider it's been a good few years. So it's a possibility that the light was coming on because of the brake fluid, but obviously that would be great if it was that, but it's got new pads anyway. At least we know it's done. Bit of luck. I do have a brake rewind, cylinder rewind tool, but of course there's nothing for it to grip onto here. So actually just using the G-clamp is perfect. It doesn't twist left or right. Just gently push that back in with the G-clamp, and that's going in quite nicely. Okay, so you can see the point of doing that. Once that's in, we can try and get the pads back in. Right, okay, so that's gone in nicely, just with the G-clamp, so I didn't need any rewind tools for that. As you know, we've got the sensor in there now, the what do you call it, wear level sensor, and I've cleaned up the sliders and also put a little bit of grease on there as well, silicone grease. So that should just push in there, all being well, like that. Similar to that. Oh god, just yeah, ain't it typical, isn't it? I'm trying not to get in your way here, so of course it's not going very well. Let's get those 2 in first. Oh god, bear with me, I'll get this in. Well, that was a bit of a pain. I had to bend the clips in slightly, and also to line up with the sliders I had to kind of half get that on and then push this on again onto the cylinder at the same time. So they're actually now in place. Now before I get the other pad in, I seem to remember last time I messed this up by, I can't remember if I had this came out a different way. I think it came through this way, and I think I got it wrong last time. From what I remember, it was a long time ago. I think it came through there, the sensor wire. I think that's it, that would go on. That's away from everything. Yep, that's right. So just put that there for now. We'll get the other pad there, and that should just go in there. Yeah, I think that's okay. And then get this one over the top. There we go. And I think that's how it went. Yeah, that's it. Right, okay, so let's get this bolted up with these Torx bolts again, and plug this in a minute. Just rewire it back round here, and well, see how we go. Well, first of all, my apologies. As I say, I'd lucky I did take a photo of it. It comes out of there, the middle part of the caliper. So just to make sure it comes out the middle of the caliper, not where I had it. So let's wire this rewire it around here and then get that plugged in. Okay, so that's the caliper back on. Now we've got to get this clip back on. How easy this is going to be, I don't know. So I've got it started up there. This needs to come. It needs to come down a bit, so that's no use, is it? That's got to go in there. I think that's in there. Just bend that one around there without this flying off somewhere. Oh, exactly. Anyway, you'll get the idea. It just goes back into there, and then we just have to clip these round. It's just a bit fiddly, that's all. Okay, well that's back on. I say nothing works on camera, but it's just a case of twisting it around, and eventually, once it is on, just tap them back in right over. So that's that done. Just got to get the wheel back on and start the other side. As I say, I'm not any sort of professional. I just find things as I go and make mistakes as I go. So if you do this, at least you know what you're looking for and what to watch out for. So we're going to say goodbye to Jenny in a minute in there, and I'll get started on the other side in a moment. Well, there we go. That's done. There's Jenny. It's colder weather now. She's quite happy sitting in cold stones. So I'm not really up to too much at the moment with this cold. So by the time you watch this video, hopefully it would have gone. That would have been about 2 weeks. So, but I feel better than I did, and I've still got the moped to get on with. There's a few other little bits and pieces I'm going to show as well, but just to break up too much of the moped. But I hope you did find it useful. It's a pretty straightforward job, but obviously everyone is different to any other cars. I say I expected to use the brake rewind tools, but there was just no way for that to go on. It's a totally different sort of caliper, but I hope it comes in useful for some people. But if you do like the videos, please subscribe and like, and thank you for watching, and you take care out there, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.